Welcome to tonight's sleep hygiene practice. My name is Tate and I'll be your guide. I'm just getting things set up and I invite you to do the same. So allowing the lights to turn down low, Bob Marley style. You may want to light a candle, light some incense. I ended up making some rose hibiscus tea. And for yoga props tonight, we're going to be using all of the supports. So a yoga strap if you have one. If you do not have a yoga strap, you can use a belt, a scarf, even your blanket as well. And then if you have access to a pillow, a yoga block, or bolster, that'll be another prop. And then in addition, you may even want to grab an eye mask or something to place over the eyes. And we're going to go ahead and get settled in here. So you may want to start by swaddling up with your blanket, sitting up on your pillow, and just allowing the eyes to close. Noticing where we can soften in our bodies. Letting the jaw weigh heavy. Letting the eyebrows unfurrow. Shoulders and collarbone. All the way down to the low body. Legs and feet. And this is your time and your space. So please take what you need, discard the rest. Take it at your own pace. And as a group here, we'll take 3 collective rounds of breath. Inhale, inviting in the deepest breath we've taken all day. And on the exhale, sighing it out, letting it go. Inhale, breathing into belly, filling up through lungs. Another sip of air at the top. And exhale, letting it all go. Sigh it out. Last one, filling up through belly, filling up through chest, through lungs, collarbone. Pause, sip of air at the top, and let it all go. Okay, and then we'll begin to invite in little micro movements through the body here. So sitting up nice and tall, we can begin to roll out through the neck here. Left ear can drape to left shoulder, then right to right shoulder. You may even want to begin to sway from side to side, stretching through the torso here. So any rocking motion, you think of caretakers soothing infants. There's the rocking, there's a humming. Rocking is very, very settling for our systems as well. Again, it doesn't matter what it looks like in your body, coming back to how it feels. Maybe breathing with sound feels aligned. We yawn it in and yawn it out. And then maybe starting to find some hip circles. Inhale, rotating forward. Exhale, rotating back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. One more on this side. And then switching the direction. How does it feel? Inhale forward, exhale back. Next, inhale, arms reach up and wide like you just woke up. Arms reach, gaze follows. Exhale, right hand plants down, left reaches up and over. And depending on how the shoulder feels, it may feel good to bend through the elbow, make a little chicken wing through the arm. You can find some circles. Hinging forward, rotating elbow back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale, both arms reach back up, gaze follows. Exhale, side bend to the left. Left hand grounds down, right reaches up and over. Maybe bending through the elbow, making a little chicken wing through the arm as we find some circles. And 3 times the other direction. And just giving yourself full permission to find any movements that feel right in your body today. Inhale, arms come up, full body stretch. Exhale, arms open up to the right, twisting to the right. Relaxing through jaw, shoulders. Let's take a yawn in together, yawning on command if it feels so inclined. And exhale, yawn it out. One more. Exhale back through center. Inhale, arms reach up, you've got it. Exhale, twisting to the left, gazing at a focal point. Softening through gaze, softening through shoulders, softening through jaw. Cycle the breath in and cycle the breath out. Okay, and we'll make our way down to our mats here. Keeping our yoga strap handy, maybe if you have some tea, take a little sip of it. I'm such a Maxinista, guys. I got this rose and hibiscus tea from, I think, TJ Maxx or Marshall's, but it is so good. It is so good. Kava root tea can also be really good for sleep, or chamomile, maybe some mood as well. All right, so I'll meet you on the back. You can cover up with the blanket here if you want. And we're gonna find a reclined butterfly. So allowing soles of the feet to come together to touch. And knees to span wide like a book. And then here, if this feels fairly intense, you can slide the feet away from you to make it more gentle. Or for more intensity, you can allow the heels to shift closer in towards the groin. This is a great option to drape a blanket over the body. But we're going to move into some gentle breath work here. You may even want to interlace the fingertips and allow the hands to cradle the back of the head here. Making any adjustments to allow the body to feel nice and comfortable. Noticing where the body meets the ground beneath us. Almost as if the body were melting downward. Muscles are softening. Bones are softening, weighing heavy. And you may even want to allow a hand to ground down on the belly. Maybe one rests down on the low ribs or heart center. And we're just going to start by sending the air down to the belly, imagining the stomach were like a balloon. Inhale, noticing the subtle expansion. And exhale, passively letting breath go out of the mouth, sighing it out. Almost like you're blowing out on a candle. We'll take 4 more just like that. In through nose, like we're smelling flowers, breathing into belly. Blowing out on that imaginary candle. That's 2. Allowing every exhale to soften the body, relax the body a little bit more. Okay, and then noticing what sensations have shifted through the low body here. And then option 2, bring the hands to the outskirts of the legs, and with the strength of the arms, bring the knees back together. Knees can come in towards the chest. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. You may want to roll out through the ankles, articulate through the toes, any movement that feels good. And then if we haven't already swaddled up with a blanket, I invite you to do so. We're going to practice another breath tool called the VU breath. So this one's really good for 1, discharging energy, but 2, allowing our bodies to shift more so into the parasympathetic branch of the nervous system. I'm going to grab an extra pillow for my back, actually. Okay, so 2 mechanisms with this breath, one of which we're making the exhales longer by humming or making the sound of a foghorn, like you can also hum if that feels more accessible, but this is really good for the vagus nerve, as I mentioned. So allowing yourself to find a settled position, maybe knees bend, maybe the knees relax in towards one another. You may even want to extend the legs up the wall. It can be really settling for our systems as well. Okay. Hands can rest down. Allowing eyes to settle. And just sensing back into your breath. We don't need to change anything quite yet. Noticing where the breath carves out space in the body. And that feeling of release, that feeling of letting go on the exhales. Okay, so we'll start by finding an easy breath in, moving into our VU breath. Exhale, making the sound of a foghorn or gently humming. Easy breath in. And just playing around with how long we can extend our exhales. Full breath in. Easy breath in. Maybe alternating, switching with a hum. Full breath in, breathing into belly, up into chest. Gentle hum. We'll take 2 more at your own pace. Okay, full breath in. And exhale, sigh it out, finding a full body stretch here. Arms extend up, legs lengthen long. And we're going to grab a hold of our yoga strap now. We can keep the blanket around us for extra warmth, but allowing that yoga strap, that belt, that scarf to come to the ball of the left foot here. Allowing for there to be a nice little micro bend through that left knee. So this is considered an inversion because the feet are above the heart in space. And this is great for helping our body settle down. We can find a rock. It actually will help lower our blood pressure as well. Just tapping in to notice what movements feel best in the body. Can drop the leg all the way down to the left until you find a stretch. Maybe back up. And then left leg extends over to the right by a little bit. Feeling that IT band stretch. Back through center, we can go a little bit forward and back. Coming back to stillness. Easy breath in. Maybe gentle hum on the exhale. 2 more. Then we'll gently switch it out to the other side. Right foot comes up in that yoga strap. Left foot plants down on the mat with the left knee bent. If you have a lot of mobility in your hips, you may want to extend the left leg long. You get to choose. And starting with some micro movements, lateral, side to side. Finding a little rock. Supporting the body's capacity to relax and settle. Maybe rocking forward and back. Some circles. And then option to drop that right leg all the way down or as far to the right as it is comfortable. Feeling that hip flexor stretch. And back through center, a little IT band stretch. Right leg can extend over to the left by a little bit. Noticing where we can soften, where we can let go of tension. Back through center. 3 rounds of that Vu breath or that Brahmari breath. Brahmari is bumblebee breath where we're humming. Seeing how long we can extend the exhales to. Maybe stillness, maybe a rock, you get to choose. And then option for both feet to come up in that yoga strap for a few moments. And again, you get to choose whether subtle movement feels aligned or if just hanging out and exploring some stillness feels better in your body. But we may even be able to notice a temperature shift through the feet, more heaviness through the low body, maybe even a little bit more tiredness through the body. And if you fall asleep on your mat, that is completely welcome. And if you need to pause this and hop in bed, to go to bed, feel free to do so. Okay, and then we can remove those feet from the strap, allowing the yoga strap to come to our side. Knees are bent, and just allowing the knees to windshield wipe side to side. So hands can relax down on the hip flexors or low belly. And just allowing the knees to windshield wipe side to side. Maybe the feet walk out to the corners of the mat or the edges of the mat to find a wider stance. One side and then the next. Okay, and then option to grab a hold of your yoga bolster or your yoga block. You have a nice restorative practice here. So the pillow, bolster / block, whatever we choose, is going to come to the sacrum, which is lower back, upper butt region. It's probably the best way to explain it. You can come into it by sitting down on your prop and then leaning back, or if it's a block, you can just find a bridge pose, right? And then gently lift the hips up and slide that prop underneath the hips. So to find my sweet spot, I love to extend my legs up in the air. And if it feels like I'm going to slide down and off of my yoga prop, for example, if it's all the way up here and there's a lot of compression, for this restorative bridge, I'm going to shift my prop down so my bottom feels supported. So if I were to lift up, I'm not going to slide down and off of my prop here. You have lots of options, maybe legs in the air, still feeling aligned. Maybe bend the knees in towards the chest by a little bit and find a rock. One of my favorites is to swaddle up with a blanket. If you have your eye mask, option to grab a hold of that. Extend the legs long. And just allowing my whole body to find some rest here. Nothing to do. There's nothing to change or fix in this moment. Giving yourself permission just to be with what is. Noticing what sounds grab our attention. What sensations we can ground and anchor ourselves into. And then option here to do some gentle tapping on the body with some affirmations. So we're just going to gently tap on the ribs here. Left side, then right side,
left, right, left, right, left, right. So getting that bilateral stimulation. Left, right. Okay, and then in your mind's eye, you can say this in your mind's eye or aloud. Body, now is your time to rest. Thank you, body, for taking care of me. Thank you, body, for working so hard. Thank you, body, for working so hard. Hey, body, you don't have to exert so much energy right now. Hey, body, you're allowed to rest and recover. You can even tap lower on the hips by the root chakra, which governs our sense of safety, our sense of groundedness, support. My body is free to rest now. I am free to rest now. I am capable of rest and relaxation. I give myself full permission. I give myself full permission to be. I give myself full permission to rest fully and completely. I am resting deeply now. And tapping on the mind, we'll stay with that bilateral movement, maybe by the temples or eyebrows or crown of the head. My mind is resting now. I give my mind permission to rest fully and completely. My mind is resting now. I give my mind permission to rest fully and completely. And allowing the knees to bend. Maybe a little windshield wiping motion. And if we use the pillow, we can keep that pillow exactly where it is. And we're just going to roll over onto our bellies. So supporting the hip bones on our bolster. If we used a block, switch it out for a pillow or two to create more height. And we're just gonna cross the arms and make a pillow for ourselves. And then option to bend the knees. And just to windshield wipe the knees from side to side. Maybe the knees come a little bit wider or more narrow. Allowing the body to melt down on your mat. Jaw unclenches. Temples and sides of the skull soften. Eyebrows, brain and mind, all softening now. Traveling that awareness down through the vertebrae of the neck, all relaxing. Where the skull and the neck meet, melting down. And that relaxation travels outward, the collarbone, expanding and diffusing throughout the arms, throughout the elbows and forearms. That sense of rest permeating throughout the wrists, the palms, shining through each and every finger. Traveling back up the arms. And softening down through the torso, the middle to lower back, low back to hip flexors to low abdomen, low abdomen back to hip flexors. Allowing this relaxation to soften down the muscles of the legs. Releasing through knees and all the muscles around the knees. Calf muscles. All the ligaments and connective tissues throughout the legs. All the way down to ankles, soles of the feet, tops of the feet. Shining downward throughout each and every toe. Allowing the whole body to relax now. Sensing into that support. The warmth, allowing the earth to carry the body here.
Feel free to stay where you're at. If your low back is calling for one more stretch, invitation to take it. So the final stretch I will take us to is a restorative child's pose. So grab all your props for this. We're going to make a cocoon for ourselves. Maybe the bolster supports the chest here. Finding ourselves hands and knees. You may want to find some cat and cows here, rounding through the back, the arching through the spine. Or maybe you come right into that child's pose, big toes relax together to touch, knees come hip distance or as wide as they are comfortable. Resting hips back towards heels. Then we have that pillow, that bolster to hug down on. You have a block as well. You can stack that block underneath the bolster to make somewhat of a ramp. And then we can just hug that ramp and come on down. And feel free to make any modifications or adjustments that feel good. The arms can extend out long. Beginning to draw your mind inward. Beginning to call to mind an image of a place that's relaxing, deeply restorative, peaceful, just allowing the mind to drift to where it wants to. Mind at rest, traveling to a place of rest, place of peace, an inner sanctuary. And if for whatever reason the breath is calling for more support, finding longer exhales to support the body and finding that rest. Maybe inhaling like we're smelling flowers for roughly 3 or 4 seconds. And exhaling for 5 or 6 like we're blowing out on a candle. Beginning to come out of this child's pose and finding our final resting pose of Shavasana. Finding a comfortable position lying down on the back. Grabbing a hold of your eye mask, swaddling up with the blanket.